Desert racing. The only place in the world where this type of event takes place is in the western United States, mainly California's Mojave Desert. There's a good reason for this. It takes a desert for a track. But desert racers are not without their problems. Conservation groups say that off-the-road vehicles are destroying the desert, and if left unchecked, it'll be worn away forever. Heavy pressure has been put on the Bureau of Land Management to close more and more areas that are open to such activities. Desert racers are a hardy bunch. Despite all the odds against them, the racing still continues. It wasn't uncommon a few years ago for 1,000 riders to show up for a desert race. But with the cost of gas just getting there these days and other inflationary items, the number has dropped to a third of that. This film will take you to an off-road event from beginning to end, to a desert race to see and hear the sights and sounds of a culture within the motorcycling world. The first thing that you find out is that after you pull off the main highway, you have anywhere from 2 to 5 miles of dirt roads just to get where the race is being held. Some clubs put up signs to pass the time away. The second thing you find out is that there are no gate fees, which means a lot if you have a motorhome full of people. Most riders arrive Saturday. Gives you a chance to go trail riding and sort things out on your new bike. Or you can sign up and avoid the Sunday morning rush, or just kick back and bench race with your friends. Desert clubs usually have their favorite area to camp, so they're spread over a 2 or 3 square mile area. Saturday is a day to test your other hobbies or make changes on your bike. Gary Childers can be found riding around backwards on Saturday.
You should try riding that way. Racing.
Well, it's have to get a couple mirrors, I guess, and try it sometime.
Gary's not backwards when it comes to his racing. He's one of the fastest senior riders in the desert. Find some riders playing around, haul out a camera, and the acrobatics begin. What do these people think about their desert? Well, I asked them.
Well, just coming out here and being with the people you're with out here. There's you can't find any better people to be with. The families, the kids, everybody out here. It's you can't knock it unless you come out here and come out here in the summertime and enjoy the how great it is out here. And once you get addicted to it, you'll come back.
Okay. I got into motorcycle riding with my brother. He started riding dirt bikes, and I started doing it and enjoyed it. I was never very good at sports at any time, and for some reason motorcycles, I just took to them and enjoyed it. We come out here, my husband and I, we've been coming out for about 6 years to the desert. It's something we enjoy doing, even though it's kind of expensive, but it's just, I don't know, people don't understand it. They think we're nuts, that we're going to get hurt or that we're tearing up the desert or something, and it's hard to explain to them what it's like to come out and just have a good time.
Sunday morning, and 300 bikes getting ready to charge to a smoke bomb some 4 or 5 miles out to where the course actually starts. Desert races are usually run on courses of 70 to 80 miles in length, kind of like a giant figure eight with checkpoints along the way and gas pits somewhere in the middle.
You're gonna win this today? Still nursing some broken ribs. Probably not.
Like any form of motorcycle racing, accidents happen, and desert racing is no exception. The young man which you are about to see was involved in one of the most dreaded accidents that can happen, a head-on collision with another motorcycle. Because of the high rate of speed that these riders travel some of the time, it leaves very little room for error. If a mistake is made, it can be disastrous. Case in point, 2 riders practicing the start, one going out and one coming back. An error in judgment. The result, 2 broken bodies. You don't have to be racing to get hurt in the desert. This young man just came out to watch the races, but he wasn't watching where he was going and ended up bike and all down a 35-foot open pit mine shaft. Other than a few scrapes and bruises, he was all right. He's lucky to be alive. Some of these shafts go down 50 to 100 feet or more. Every sport has its heroes, but the biggest heroes of desert racing are these folks. Rescue 3. If you've ever had the misfortune of being hurt some 20 miles out on the course, it's a welcome sight when these people show up. Rescue 3 is a group of volunteers. They don't get paid for their time, and any money that is donated goes towards maintaining their equipment. It's interesting to note that the command post truck that you see here was donated by one of the desert clubs themselves. A hearty thanks to Rescue 3. What makes desert racing so great is the families. Where else can you find dad, son, and daughter all on the starting line together? What about mom? Well, somebody has to dump gas at the pits and pass out Band-Aids at the finish. Desert races are started by a banner, usually placed about 100 yards out from the starting line. The last minute before the start is nerve-wracking. The adrenaline is flowing. You have a knot in your stomach that feels like the helmet you're wearing. Your heart is pounding so loud you can hear it, knowing you're about to embark on a 2-hour journey on a course you've never ridden. Then a silence falls over the whole line. No motors running, nobody talking. A silence that makes you even more nervous. There's been a lot of talk about how fast desert racers really go. Well, from the experts, it ranges from 10 to 80 miles per hour or so. There are occasions when they go faster. Here, Britt Wallingsford clocked at 112 miles per hour on a long fire road. What happens when you bail out going at these lunar speeds? Dan Smith found out when he hit a washout at 80 plus. One eyewitness said bike and body cartwheeled some 4 or 5 times through the air and then skidded another 100 feet to a stop. Because of his excellent physical condition, he only suffered minor cuts and scrapes. If it had been you or I, we'd probably still be in traction. All desert races seem to have one thing in common: long, loose, rocky, nasty uphills. For the expert, this isn't any problem, but for a lot of others, Most of the front-running experts don't have any problems with uphills, but after about 30 or 40 riders, it gets pretty chewed up. And for the beginners and novices yet to come, sometimes proves difficult. It's rare that anybody gets hurt going up hills other than egos. Plus, they have a good story to tell about the big one that got away. It's hard to appreciate how difficult it is pushing a 250-pound bike up a hill with rocks the size of watermelons or bigger. For some riders, it's complete frustration. This young lady made it further than most, and with a little help from the cameraman, she was on her way. Finally, the last few riders make it up the hill, and there's usually a check on top. Then it's off to home check, a quick gas stop, and another 40 miles of dust, rocks, and hills. A frantic part of desert racing is the gas stop, especially if you're running in the top 10. There's a card taped to your gas tank, and every checkpoint you come to, you slow down and have it marked. Each checkpoint has a different color. If you miss one, you're disqualified. Sometimes the dust can get unbearable. It's like driving in a thick fog. Who are some of the fast guys in desert racing? Well, one of them is Dan Ashcraft. Dan, primarily a 250 rider, got his initiation to motorcycles at age 4 when his dad competed in motocross races in California. Then the family's attention turned to enduros, where Dan competed on a 125. At age 16, rode his first desert race, and within a year he made expert. Since then, his career has spiraled up to where he's a major threat to any off-road competition. I talked to Dan's mother about the effect his racing has on her.
Being the mother of a #1 plate holder in the desert, you've had to give and take. How's it affected you personally?
It's affected me personally is we've always had to give and take with Dan in sports, but I would say probably the last 3 years has been the best time of my life. Saturday is peaceful, I enjoy coming out, but Sunday is an excitement that I really can't explain, and I love it. It's my favorite thing, and Dan is, he's a good kid, and it's kept us as a family together, and it's just probably the most important thing in my life. I've really enjoyed it.
I asked Dan what race he enjoyed most in 1981.
The race that I enjoyed winning the most in 1981 was probably the Baja 1000. It took my partner and I, Mark Miller, over 19 and a half hours to finish the event. The reason I enjoyed winning it so much was because it was the first time for me to ride in the 125 class and the first time for me to win in the score event.
Dan's goal? To win the Baja 1000 overall. Open class rider Dan Smith has been riding motorcycles since the age of 8. His parents would bring him out to the desert to ride his motorcycle. And at the age of 15, he started desert racing. Within a year, he earned enough points to become an expert. In fact, he was the youngest rider to win an overall desert race on an open class bike. Dan says that a lot of his success comes from physical conditioning, eating the right foods, plus a lot of support from his family and friends. Dan rode the Baja 1000 for the first time in 1981 with teammate Tom Kelly. And being down for an hour and a half with mechanicals, they still finished 4th overall and 2nd 250. Dan's goal? To win a gold medal at the International 6-Day Trials. Both Dan Smith and Dan Ashcraft turned enough points during their 1981 season to carry AMA's District 37's #1 plate in their respected classes. Another hazard to desert racers, downhills. Downhills give you a chance to style it. You have gravity working for you. Some downhills have only one trail, so if the rider in front has a problem, everybody has to wait. Some downhills even become famous, such as the Invaders downhill, named after a desert club that usually puts it in their races. It should be called Oh Shit Hill because everybody that came to it said, oh shit. This guy said the hell with it and sat down to watch. Come on, guys. The best way to go down this hill is to ride it down. If you couldn't, it was bulldogging and skiing. This guy holds the record for skiing. He made it all the way. The guy with the blue tank and yellow fenders seemed to have the most problems. He just couldn't keep his bike upright. Finally, he moved it off to one side of the hill. It looked easier. It always does. down again. Now he was mad. Finally, he gets his bike upright, but then it gets stuck in a bush. Finally, someone decided to give him a hand. Because of the look of things, he wasn't going to make it by himself. And this is where it ended, sliding his bike the rest of the way down the hill. Once you get up all the uphills and down all the downhills, you'd figure you'd have it whipped. But that's not always so. The sandwash that these riders are in gets rockier and rockier. Anybody that says desert racing is easy just doesn't know what he's talking about. It's a struggle just to finish, and when you do, you get a sense of accomplishment that few things can match. Everybody shows up for the finish of a desert race, and the stories begin.
Who did? Oh, Stern seized up there. You know, they had a super long sandy uphill. Stern seized it, and I went by him. And then, got the hill about 2 miles. Chuck Miller lost his seat and everything, so I passed him when he was trying to put it in.
When you offering yours?
Stand hill, and the front end got this way on me, and I just went over the bars. The bike flipped over on me, and I landed on my back. Holy Christ.
You know you were leading it.
I started leading it about 20 miles back, 15 maybe.
Who'd you get last?
Chuck, he was third, you know, and then I just counted them off.
Just kept moving right on up. Oh, what a beautiful race, Dan.
There he comes. Thank you.
How come we didn't pick Chuck down that hill, man?
Oh, yeah, you got going for the one.
Yeah, but I had a jury check.
I was going to bring you a seat out there. I went down the seat to wing it out. I stopped and That's when Dan got by me. I was past the bomb, and I followed Larry all the way past the last check and coming into the finish here. I got him coming down the downhill straight. I got off on a different trail and got by him. I think he probably had some kind of problem. You don't just go blowing by him. And then you go home, you're garage for a week. You win? Okay.
That's good. You know that right after the first check, it goes down that hill. Starts going down that sandy road. That one left-handed that fell right into the side.
Are you the one that tore down the bushes all along the edge?
That's me.
I went by in the second look and I went, wow, someone failed. It's a really fast left-hander.
It was me.
And it was one of those roads where you could just go as fast as you wanted to go.
Of all the desert races, the Las Vegas 400 is a big event, a 400-mile race on the outskirts of Las Vegas and into the California desert. All the top riders in the country for this kind of event were there. Hardin, Wallingsford, Rosler, Ogilvie, the Pfeiffer brothers, and the list went on. They'd be competing for a $12,000 purse, which makes it the richest off-road motorcycle race there is. Casey Folks and Sam Bass, the two men behind the race, gave us some insight about the event.
Started in '77 with it, and we've gotten several ideas, a lot of new interventions into the off-road thing since then. We've tried different things like the sportsman class. This year we're trying the three-wheel class, and the first year he guaranteed $12,000 cash, and we had 54 professional teams, and we ran a 60-mile loop that year. We did it in 6 weeks' time, put the whole deal together and through the race. And each year we've come along and changed it a little bit and see what the riders like and get the feedback from them. So it's growing now to where there's 100 teams entered today. We have a 125-mile loop 3 times. And the payback will be probably $10,000 to $11,000, $12,000 again.
Or the motorcycle professional racing game as it is today, they still think of, as Casey said, the Hells Angels and people creating a disturbance. Well, these guys that come to this race are professional people. They're here to ride for money, and they're very serious about it. And they also don't have an idea at the Hacienda or any other place how many people are involved in a race like this. 2,000 or 3,000 people here will be involved in this race as support crews, backup people, and our own people to run the race, plus the riders. There's 200 riders, and probably 2,000 other people that will be here to support these riders with their pits, spare parts and repairs and such on race day. And we have a sales job to sell people what this thing's all about, that it really is a serious and well-organized program.
At 5:30 in the morning, the first riders leave the line, and 2 every 15 seconds thereafter. After all of the riders had gone, the waiting in the pits begins. Who would come in first? Nervous co-riders waited for their partners. Out on the course, riders were making their moves. Unlike a conventional desert race, you can pre-ride the course, so at least you have an idea of where you're going. The first rider in the pits, the team of Scott Harden and Brent Wallingsford. The second team through, the Pfeiffer brothers, Kent and Scott. Not all of the teams went without their problems.
All right. Where the hell's your toolbox? 10 millimeter. 10 millimeter. Hurry up. It ain't gonna matter. It's threaded in here too.
Well, let me get my gun. Not loose. Oh, okay. Go for it. Socket. Now watch. Carry that one. Good luck, Larry.
Good luck, Larry.
The day wore on as exhausted riders completed laps and gas stops. At the finish, it was Scott and Kent Pfeiffer who took the overall win, riding a flawless race as they did all year. Second overall was the team of Scott Harden and Brent Wallingsford. There's not a group of people more aware of conserving the desert lands than these. They're the ones that are using it. It's people like the Smiths and the Ashcrafts and the numerous others that make the whole thing work. With more and more areas being closed to this kind of competition, the desert racers themselves may be the ones on the endangered species list.